Welcome to that Good Experience podcast,
where related minds
talk about related topics.
And we all just happen to be related. Buckle up, this is going to be a good one.
We've got that good
experience
podcast. And here we are, March 12th, 2022. Is that we've got that good experience podcast. And as always, I'm Marcus Moses. And also, as always, there's no way this thing happens without my cousin co-host, Kimmy.
Marcus, darling, how are we today? And how is the good family?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're doing well. And hey, let's take it up to the DMV, Washington, D.C. area. And my other cousin co-host, Byron B. Brown. Hey, what's going on, B?
What's up, cuz? What's up, Kimmy? Let's do this. It's great to be here on this fab day.
Absolutely. You know what's so amazing about this podcast? I love our name. It's called the We've Got That Good Experience podcast, or We've Got That Good podcast experience. But there's so many ways that you can kind of like interact with it, change it, because I've seen it called the Good podcast. It's so many, kind of like a Lego, right?
Yeah, you can just call us the good, and you're going to know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
We're the good.
and absolutely. And you know what else is so good, ladies and gentlemen, about the good experience? You don't have to go anywhere to listen to us, okay? Anywhere that you find, you listen to your podcast, Podomatic, Amazon, iHeart, Spotify. You can listen to us. And with gas, the prices that they are right now, I'm pretty sure you don't want to go anywhere, right, guys?
Oh my gosh,
man! I had to. I was talking to my mom. I was talking about gas prices, and she was like, "Is that going to hinder our trip?" I was like, "Nothing but death could keep me from it. I'll just take out a loan for gas, honey."
But you know what? I got shell shocked. I mean, it's a crime to have to pay over $50 for a ticket.
Oh my God! I put in 65 and it wasn't full.
Well, for me here, I don't know about you guys, but here in South Georgia, it's I think the highest one I've seen was like $4.30. I've seen places across the nation where there's gotten up to over $5, close to $6. I think it was in Hawaii.
I think it was 6 in California.
Yeah. We used to make fun of people. I didn't say make fun of people, but I always thought, applying for a gas card was something that was unnecessary back in the day. And gas as cheap as it was, we had no problem paying for it. But I literally applied for a gas card.
I should do the same thing. I've been meaning to do that myself. And that advice has been given hand over fist many years across my lifetime. And I've never done it. My mom had a gas card, and it makes sense. I mean, I guess it's a good way of keeping track of your spending with gas. But I go to places like Costco and BJ's, and when their prices are like high, because I was at BJ's the other day filling up, and they're over $4. And the last time we had a price hike, the prices stayed the same. So everybody's now feeling it. Every aspect of, I guess, the business of gas is feeling the effects of what's happening in the rural.
But you just gave me an idea. Maybe I do need to just get all my gas from Sam's, because that's why the line is like around the corner at Sam's, because they're all getting their gas from there.
It's still cheaper, but still, they're high now. That's crazy.
Yeah, we all know what this is stemming from. The skirmish that's going on. Well, not a skirmish, it's an actual war that's going over in the country of Ukraine. We try not to talk politics here and try to talk stuff that gets us down on this podcast, but our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Ukraine during this difficult time. You just got to bear with it, ladies and gentlemen. This is this world that we live in. God is still good. He's given all of us the means to make sure that, even though gas prices are what they are, we're still able to go to the tank
and put it in there
and pay for it. And put it in there. I mean, Kim said it best. The line was wrapped around Sam. So even though it's high, people are still buying gas. People still got things to do. So
if we don't get it, where we gonna go? But that's what they know.
Exactly.
But they know that they know that we have no choice but to get it. So
that part, yeah.
Right.
Because even when nothing is going on, they can just flick the dial or whatever and just change up stuff, and we'll just fall in line because we have to.
Exactly. Exactly. But that's neither here nor there, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank everybody for welcoming, listening to our podcast. We want to thank everybody for making us number 4 last week as far as podcast concerns on the Podomatic site. I know it's a testament to you guys downloading and listening. We want to continue to tell a friend. We've got some really good things going on this podcast. We've got the celebrity guests, we got the good music, and so and the future's bright for us, just like anybody else. So we're going to continue the momentum here this week. Our theme this week is we're going to do part 2. Now, back in January, we had Tari Torre. Now, if you haven't seen the Kanye West documentary on Netflix, Tari Torre, she's married to Jay Ivey, who was one of the main writers of that documentary. And she makes a couple of cameo appearances in this documentary. Tari Torre, one of our guests back in January, we did our favorite female artists, and we had such a good time with that.
That's a great time.
There was such a great time with it.
This positive energy was so great.
Yeah,
there were so many songs that we didn't get to include, so we're going to include them today.
Absolutely. We're going to run it back. So this one is entitled Our Favorite Female Artists, Part 2. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to start off with our good segment. And what's good this week? We're going to take a stroll down the sports avenue again. This time our good segment takes us to Sylvania, Georgia, Screven County, where I hooked up with Coach Stephanie Davis. She is the coach of the Screven High School Lady Gamecocks over in Sylvania, Georgia. And those guys had a pretty successful season. Coming from where they came from, she tells the story of how when she took over this program, they had a very distinct streak. Ladies and gentlemen, you might want to take a listen to this one. This is a good interview that I had. But nevertheless, here it is, my interview with Screven County Lady Gamecocks Coach Stephanie Davis. And welcome to our good segment. We got the Good Experience podcast, where we celebrate everything that has to do with music, movies, and more, which includes sports. And so this week on our podcast, we want to celebrate a great accomplishment by a well-deserving coach. She is the coach of the Screven County Lady High Gamecocks out of Sylvania, Georgia. Please help us welcome to the good Miss Coach Stephanie Davis. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right. Now, Coach Davis, just real quickly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Blakely, Georgia. I went to school in Early County. After high school, I went to Georgia Southwestern and Americas. And there I met my husband, and he's a coach as well. And the rest, they say, is history.
Okay. So you pretty much got into the teaching field.
Yes.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
I've been teaching for about 30 years now.
Okay, 30 years. That's a long time, Coach.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. So the reason why we wanted to bring you on the program this week is because your team had a very successful season, but there are a lot of people that don't understand the story behind the success. Now, your team, when you took over, was back when? What year?
2017.
2017. Now, up until, I'm not sure exactly what date it was, but you guys had a very distinct record until you got that first win of the 2017 season. Tell us, everybody, a little bit about what that record was.
Okay, up until that point, we had lost 99 straight games.
Wow.
When we won that first game that year, it was right before the 100th loss.
Right.
And that was the only one that we got that season. But it was well-deserved and well-appreciated.
Right. Now, let's put this into perspective for those of you, those that are listening. Now, you guys lost 99 straight games.
99 straight games.
Now, to put this in perspective, you pretty much, guys, up until that season had gone through like 4 straight seasons without winning a single game. Never mind a losing season. You guys had not won a single game in like 4 straight seasons. What was that like?
Well, before that all happened, prior to me being here, but I can only imagine what those kids had been through, because it had started even at the middle school level with them. They had not won a game. So it continued over into high school, but all that took place prior to me being here. That first year when we got that first win was my first year of being with the program. So those years were prior to my arrival.
Okay. So walk us through that season. Now, when you took over the program, knowing that they had so many consecutive losses, what was your mindset? What was your goal for that particular season, your first season?
Well, when I initially came, I came in as going to be the assistant coach. And I got an email one day and it said, "Congratulations, you're now the head coach." So prior to that time, I had not had any plans. We had not had any summer activities prior to that. It was, it just happened. So then I had to switch from the mode of thinking I'm going to be someone's assistant to actually being the head coach. So it wasn't too much time to think about
Right.
the situation. It was just had to jump in and get going. And that's what we've been doing ever since. Jump right in and we've been going ever since.
So pretty much that first season, y'all just kind of winged it. I guess the term would be. I mean, you just went out there and just did what you could do. I mean, for the most part.
Because that first year, it was, kids that I, had not been familiar with. They were not familiar with me. And so we were getting to know each other. And also we were in a difficult region during that time. We were in the region with the schools from Augusta, Laney and Josie that are year in and year out.
They're powerhouse programs.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were competing with those teams the first couple of years. So it has been, it started off, hard and difficult because those schools, like I say, are year in and year out very competitive. And so we were having to start from scratch and try to compete with those other schools.
Okay. So like I said, you got that first win in 2017. 2018, let's skip forward. 2018, you guys won 9 games. The following season, you won another 9 games. 2020 or 21. The following season, you guys won 11 games. Now, let's fast forward to this current season. You guys have the best season that you've had so far. Now, in retrospect, going back from 2017 when you took over to now, when you saw that, hey, we're starting to win, we're starting to develop a culture of winning now. Mm-hmm. What was your mindset going forward into the next several seasons?
Now it has, because we have had to we set the foundation, and like right now during this time, this is when the season is developed, is during the off season. So yes, we had a great season. Now we are in that mode of preparing ourselves for the next. What can we do now to better ourselves so that we get further than what we did this time? Coming into this season, our main focus was improving on defense, making sure that defense was driving everything. And that's my main thing. My main focus is defense. And if you get defense going, defense sets your offense to going. And so that's been especially coming into this season, was our main focus was building defense. And that is going to continue to be our go-to thing, is our defense.
So not only did you have the most wins this season, you guys you won your region, correct?
We did.
Okay, yeah. And just for the record, you guys won 21 games this year.
Yes.
You won your region, and you also made it to the second round of the state playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. At this point in time, Coach, do you consider yourself a team of destiny that you guys can play with anybody?
Well, we have to have that mindset that we can play with anyone on any given day. The group of young ladies that I have right now, I will put them up against anyone at this time. It's all a mind thing, and believing that they can. And at this point, we've built that, mentality of, we can play with anyone on any given day. And we're going to continue to instill that mentality. Talking about our region, we ended up our region 14-1. And the one loss, after our one loss back in January, it was an away game. And I left a message on that team's board. We will win the region. And that was our mentality. That was in our mind. That was our goal. We set it, and we were able to accomplish it. And our community came out behind us, and they supported us 100%. And we really appreciate I appreciate what our girls have done and the community support that we've gotten.
Now, you mentioned the community support. Now, when you first took over the head coaching job, did you have that community support then?
Well, a lot of times during that time, most of the people that were at the games were parents and relatives and not many more. But through the years, it has continued to grow. And this year it was just, and people traveled with us as well. It wasn't just at home. People would travel with us. And especially when we went to our region tournament, I think we probably had more people there supporting our girls than some of the close people that were closer. So the community support has been awesome here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, Coach, congratulations on a successful season. Now, again, looking forward to this 2022 season. Now, as far as your team is concerned, what are you looking like? Do you have some players coming back, or how is it looking?
We only had one senior. So the main crux of our team will be back. We're looking forward to some freshmen coming up. So we're gonna get it together and start our schedule planning for our summer program so that we will be ready to go when it's time to go next season.
Absolutely. So in retrospect, again, going from 1 win to 21 wins and making it to the second round of playoffs, is you guys' mindset moving forward? You think your ladies can compete for the state championship?
We are switching. Of course, I'm going to say as a coach, yes, of course, I think we can compete. We are switching regions this time. We're going to move into the region with some Savannah schools. And Woodville Tompkins being one of them, and they've always been good. So we are going to come up against some different competition in our region this coming year, but we will be prepared to compete in that region and hopefully go further in the state playoffs than we did this year.
Absolutely. Again, our guest this week on the Good segment is Coach Stephanie Davis, the head coach of the Screven County Lady Gamecocks out of Savannah, Georgia. Thank you so much for being on our podcast this week. Any shout outs, any players you want to give a shout out to before we get out of here?
I just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to tell about our program. I just want you all to know, just look for us again next year because we're coming back.
Absolutely. All right. Coach Davis, thanks again for being on our program.
Thank you for having us.
All right. And welcome back. That was my interview with Coach Stephanie Davis. We want to wish her and her team the best of luck going forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's just get right into it. This week, our theme is our favorite female artists. And without further ado, let's go. Where we starting first, Kim?
We're going to start with one of my favorite duos to ever do it. They are completely innovative. This isn't even my selection. I believe this is Marcus, but I love me some Floetry. All you got to do is say yes.
I recognize the butterflies inside me. My sense is gonna be made tonight. All you gotta do is say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. Don't deny what you feel. Let me undress you, babe. Open up your mind and just rest. I'm about to let you know you make me so. Don't deny what you feel. Let me undress you, babe. Open up your mind and just rest. I'm about to let you know you make me so So.
Ooh,
Yes,
memories.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The song speaks for itself, ladies and gentlemen. That was Floetry Say Yes from their album Floetic, released back in 2002, consisting of the songstress Marsha Ambrosius and the florist Natalie Stewart. This particular song reached number 24 on the Hot 100, Billboard's Hot 100. It was nominated for a Grammy for Best R&B Performance by a Group or Duo, but it lost. Anybody want to take a guess what song it lost to? One of you guys?
Yes.
Beyonce.
No, Alicia Keys, My Boo.
That's it, Byron.
Wow. How did
Lucky
you know?
I remember that. I remember that.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, because I was like, I was
just-
like, they should have won. I thought
They should have won. They
Yeah.
should have won. Because
I think they should've
there was
won.
no
And
there
the
was
reason why-
nothing out there like them. There was no group that was like them. I love them. I had this album and played it front to back all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, a Floetry was a natural group or an R&B duo as opposed to a collaboration. I don't understand why they didn't put them. I think the Grammy gives out an award for best collaboration. I mean, if you're going to give them an award, give
Well,
it
it's
to,
not like
to
it wouldn't be a
the-
collaboration because they're an actual group.
They were an actual group. Collaboration would be two separate entities, like Michael Jackson and Prince
That's
doing something together.
That's what I'm
That would
talking-
be-
So Alicia Keys,
That's what-
technically Alicia Keys and that Usher track, that's a collaboration.
That's a collaboration.
That should have been outside of anyway.
But that's what I was talking about. I think that if they're going to give an award to Usher and Alicia Keys for that particular song, My Boo, it should have been done for the category of collaboration, as opposed, Floetry being an actual R&B group or duo. I think they kind of got gypped in that aspect of it.
I think so.
So, and I think, yeah. So, and you see a lot of that, especially, when Kanye and Jay-Z decided to team up and do an album. You saw them getting a lot. They started labeling them as a group or a duo, and they started collecting the awards, but when all actuality, they're actual separate entities that just joined together. So, I mean, it is what it is. That didn't stop them. Floetry still one of those groups that still has a place in hip hop and R&B culture.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And Marsha Ambrosia is still out there putting out great music and touring. So we definitely need to give her props.
And Natalie Stewart, she's still doing her thing as well. I know she dipped a little bit into the deep house, the soulful house realm, but she's been doing a lot of electronica collaborations with different people. I haven't heard anything from her as of recent, but over the past several years between the time frame that they broke up. They actually got back together briefly. I thought they were going to do another album. And
yes,
I guess it didn't work out.
Around that time, she got pregnant, I believe. And there was
Natalie?
Yeah, no, Marsha.
Oh, Marsha.
Okay.
And then it became another type of rift, and they separated for good after that.
Can you all think of any other groups that had that type of combination? Because Natalie was more of a florist rapper type or spoken word artist, and then of course Marsha was the songstress of the group. I can't think of any.
I'm trying to think, has this been done before or ever again? I really
outside of TLC, outside of
seems like-
TLC, but TLC is a trio. But
kinda. But it was still different. TLC was more pop, and it was more Left Eye was more just straight rap. But Natalie, her junk was like poetry, more poetry while she was singing.
Word.
I mean, it was just beautiful. I love them.
As you guys are talking, I'm trying to think. We've had groups that not collaborate, but put together the R&B and the hip hop, mindset. But I mean, like I see, talking about Natalie Stewart, it wasn't her thing wasn't really hip hop. Like you said, Kim, it was more like poetry.
Spoken
and
word.
I think in that,
not saying she wasn't a rapper, but she was a rapper and a poet, more so, and it was the vibe was just completely different.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever find another group or duo that can kind of be put in the same category as those two. I mean, I think they kind of stand alone in what they did.
Not even in the male category either, because I can't think of any male groups that had that type of setup where one is more of a singer and the other one's more of a rapper or poet.
Not saying that people don't actually have poetry going on while they're singing and stuff like that. That happens, but it's more of a collaboration, not an actual group that comes together as a group permanently, well, somewhat permanently, and puts out an album like that. No, I have not seen that.
Right. But anyway, what's next, Kim?
My favorite that was left off of our last best of female R&B last time because of time issues, because we just went long. But I had to give props to my girl Erykah Badu and Green Eyes.
Ooh,
this is my song.
That whole album.
I can't remember the last time I felt this way about somebody. You've done something to my mind, and I can't control it. But I don't love you anymore. Yes, I do. I think loving you is wrong.
Merci. Lord, took me back again. Well, from Erykah Badu's Mama's Gun, the second album she released by Motown Records on November 21st, 2000. Badu closes out this album, the very last song, with a 3-part song. This song indeed has 3 different parts, detailing stages involved in dealing with a relationship that has ended. The 3 parts involve first dealing with the green-eyed monster of jealousy, along with denial, accepting that the relationship is over, but then attempting to rekindle the flame. Musically, the song starts with an old-time blues sound reminiscent of Billie Holiday before going into a melancholy melody and ending with a more upbeat track. Green Eyes isn't just a breakup song, it's about a Black woman moving through the stages of grief after a failed relationship.
And there it is.
It was a perfect way for her to. This was a perfect way for her to end that album. That album had so many different textures, and for this one, you think that's okay, typical Erykah Badu, you know, taking us back to Color Purple days. That's how it sounds at first, but then it metamorphoses into this middle flower, and then we weren't even to the high point of the song just yet at that particular point that we heard. Marcus, what did you think?
This song a masterpiece. That's what you think.
It really was. I mean, you can't go wrong with Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu has that signature sound, that signature voice that, you know, we've all come to grow and love. And for her to kind of like incorporate, to kind of take us back, to give us like the little 40s, 50s jazz feel with this one right here, you know, I think it was a perfect, like you said, Byron, a perfect way to end this particular album. I love the song, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even though this is my first time hearing it. No, I take it back. I take it back. I'm just messing with you guys.
Oh, I know, right? Byron's making the face. Look at Byron.
No, I've heard this song before.
Oh my god.
So hey.
Oh my god.
You know, it was a great way to end that particular album. Nah.
Now, but if around this time when this came out, if you call my number, you can ask your sisters, Marcus. If you call my number, this is the song that you heard back then when we used to put songs on our phone. When you you heard the beginning of this song when you called me.
Right.
Were you going through something, Kimberly? You want to talk about it?
Honey, I have the right to remain silent. Anything I say can and will be used against me in the court of life. Anyway.
Hey, so check it out. KC Gay, Kim. That's what's next in Spanish.
All right, bilingualisms. These bilingualisms.
Oh my goodness. So next up, we have Incognito, one of my favorite. I swear my cousins, we share a lot of the same favorite songs. This one is Deep Waters.
All right.
saw the signs or read the book, I should have had a second look. 'Cause boy, you got me dreaming. There are times you come around and we'd agree just to be friends. Tell me who was fooling, fooling. Deep water, I'm drowning. Deep waters, slowly drowning in deeper, deep waters. I'm drowning in deep waters, slowly drowning in deeper.
Woo!
Ooh. That,
Hey, I'm about to
Okay.
say run that one back, Kim.
so Marcus, you don't recognize the song, Marcus? You still don't recognize it?
Yeah,
Are you
I
just saying
recognize it
that?
now. Yes.
Mm.
No. I recognize the song now. I recognize the song. Yeah. Yeah. Tell us about it.
This is an album track. I mean, it's off the grid hit for Incognito, taken from their, I think it was their third album or second album, Positivity, that was released in 1993,
Mhm.
featuring the vocal stylings of the one and only Mesa Leak. Mesa Leak. This was my first introduction to Mesa, hearing her on this album. And this song here, this song right here,
Honey.
Right here, this song.
it's yeah, oh
Honey.
this is that slow simmer. And from my understanding, it was written because Mesa was seeing one of the members of Incognito, like one of the horn players, and going through something. And they sat down and wrote the song based off of that energy that was happening at that particular time. And it simmers on this song. It
But the
simmers.
thing is, what's interesting is Incognito is one of the best jazz groups ever. Just their instrumental is off the chain. However, they find some of the best singers to sing on these albums, and Mesa was one of my favorites. Mesa was incredible.
And I've had the pleasure of seeing Incognito live. I've had the pleasure of actually working with Mesa, met her personally, seen her many times, most recently at a Deep Sugar event that we were paying tribute to Lisa Moody. She was there performing as well. But the group Incognito, it fits the name Incognito because they change out the singers. You know, they have multiple vocalists, these world famous, became unknown vocalists. Tony Momrell, who's become very, very popular, working with Sade, you know, many different people. And this album was initially my favorite, but when their third album,
100 Degrees and Rising?
Honey. Yes.
Honey.
Yes.
I have no words. I used to play that all the time. I was in college, and before I went to work, I had to play this, and I think it's one of the last songs on the album, which is straight instrumental. You could just let that sucker play, and it was just it was a masterpiece. You need to listen to this. You need to listen to this, Marcus, if you haven't.
And get the remix album too. The remix album is great too.
Absolutely, can't go wrong with Incognito. I mean, this song in particular kind of puts me in the mind of Brand New Heavies, maybe. Sort of, kind of.
They are acid jazz, so yes, you're on track with that, Marcus.
Yeah. So I mean, real nice track, real nice feel. You know, just kind of like, you know, it makes me want to sit out in the wind and drink lemonade.
Yeah.
I mean,
you need something harder than that.
Staring at the deep waters. That's
some wine or something harder.
Yeah,
with some rum.
Yes.
Yeah. A great song indeed. Great song indeed. Where we going next, Cam?
We got Tony Braxton. Just be a man about it.
Oh yeah.
Where the hell do you get off telling me your mama said I'm not what you need? Tell you what, said she knows it all, and then that's where you need to be. Just don't make no excuse. Why you gotta lie to me? No, yeah.
Just be a man.
Can you tell me how?
Exactly. Yeah, guys, listen. I had to go with this one. I knew I wanted Toni Braxton on this podcast, but I had to go with this song because there's no way I could have put her first album, her first self-titled album, Toni Braxton, on the podcast because every song on there was a banger. So I kind of had to step away.
Everyone.
Every one of those songs, I couldn't decide between one of those songs to put on this podcast. So I kind of stepped outside of the box and went with this one. I know this was pretty much a hard hitter too for her as well. That was Toni Braxton, Just Being Man, from her third album entitled The Heat.
I love this album.
2000. Yeah, is this the one that's got I Love Me Some Him on there too?
No, that's the first one. First album.
I Love Me Some Him.
No, I Love Me Some Him that was on the second. That was on the second album.
Are you sure?
I Love Me Some Him. I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was on the first, right?
No, it wasn't on the first one.
The second album was called Secrets. Yeah, that was the last. Next to the,
you know what? I did have Secrets. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The Heat. Okay. I love this album.
Yeah, but this is a great album. This particular song reached number 32 on the Hot 100, number 6 on the R&B and hip hop charts. The video, great visuals with this. For those of us that remember, Dr. Dre being the voice on the other end of the phone, and then at the end of the video, she shares an Q-tip with your boy with Q-tip, exactly. So, and I remember this one had spent a long time on. For those that remember 106 in Park, that was part of our the soundtrack of our lives.
This was a summer banger. It was a summer hit.
It was.
It really was. It really was. And so Toni Braxton, she really done her due diligence in this hip hop game. She really has. And this was another banger for her.
This was a solid release. Every single. The first one was He Wasn't Man Enough for Me. And then we had this one, and then there were a couple other ones, but my favorite song on there is Maybe. So if you haven't heard the song Maybe,
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the
song
Maybe,
I'm going to look it up afterwards because I'm trying to remember
check it out. And the flow on that song she's singing, or it's like a precursor to how the mumble rappers are now. That's how she's singing. It's like she's saying so much in bars, and the beat underneath is just like a groove. Can't really define that. Yes.
There was another song on Secrets. I'm just remembering. It's all bringing something back to me where she was getting revenge.
And from Secrets.
Was it Secrets? I think it was Secrets. It might have been Secrets. I have to look that up because that was another college banger that I used to play all the time.
I know I didn't play the songs I remember from Secret. I don't want to. I remember there was 2 versions of the video. One version never got released because she was scrubbing her feet with steel wool, and MTV did an expose, and someone made a comment about her scrubbing her feet with steel wool. And so, yeah, it's because that version of the video I would have preferred because, she was in her element trying on these different wigs and just being her in her own space. But they ended up with a very generic version, like a studio type of version of the video for I Don't Want To. But yeah, Break My Heart, You're Making Me High. How Could an Angel Break My Heart? Let It Flow.
I love Let It
Flow. Oh, God.
That video.
I love Let It Flow.
I love Let It Flow from the soundtrack for Waiting to Exhale.
Ready to Exhale. There you go. Yep.
But on the Heat, she steps it up even more. I think all of her albums, she steps it up. Every album, she tries something different, something new. Even her most recent stuff is a groove, it's a vibe altogether.
And one last thing about Toni, I loved when she had decided that she was going to stop doing music. And Babyface came to her and was like, "No, you need to do this with me." And they got a Grammy out of that.
That was a great album too.
That was a nice great concept. Album.
Yeah,
that was a great album.
They covered every aspect of a relationship, like from the courting to the divorce side, all of that. It's great.
So guys, let me ask you a question. All right, we all have our different tastes in music. For me, of course, my top favorite female R&B artist is Anita Baker. That can be argued.
Well, we know.
I mean, but that's just me. I'm pretty sure some others can say Mary J could probably be an easy number 2. Do you guys have Toni Braxton in your top 5?
Of course.
And my top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5. Top 10.
I know you got.
Yes.
I know you got in the
10.
top 10. I know.
Top 10. Yes. Top 5.
I
have more of a eclectic type of vibe with music, and I'm really into the neo soul type of female R&B. So she'd be on my top 10, but my top 5 would be your Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, India.Arie, Floetry.
Yeah, I can respect that. Yeah. I can respect those. I can respect those guys. I can respect that. But I just trying to see where you guys' head was at as far as like Toni's concerned, because I really feel like that she really made her mark. Definitely made her mark in the R&B industry. And to me, like I said, with that first album, that first self-entitled album, I mean, it really,
that was my favorite.
I mean, it really,
it
really was a trailblazer.
You know, 7 Whole Days.
Yes.
That was Chris's favorite song.
Was it?
Yeah, that was his.
I used to love the video for that. I love the video.
7 Whole Days was his favorite song.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm not gonna sing it, but
I know. You were about to. I hear you.
I know my voice cracked with that first part. I'm like, oh, no.
But here we go. Let's move on, Kim.
Well, you mentioned Mary J. Blige, so let's go on and listen to one of my favorites from her, My Life album, the best album ever. You Gotta Believe.
Please, won't you trust me, baby? Till death do us part. Please believe in me. Gotta believe in me. You must believe in me, baby. I won't gotta believe in me. You must believe in me.
I had to include
Go
that
ahead,
voice.
go ahead. I know, because you know who that was, right?
Yes.
Who was
That
it,
was
Marcus?
Casey, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
it was.
was. That was Casey.
Okay. That wasn't the only song that they did together. I think there was a song on the first album, What's the 411? It was called I Don't Want to Do Anything.
Right, but he just appears as a background vocalist. He's one of the writers on the song, so that's really the only time you hear him stand out on that song. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on the first album. I Don't Want to Do Anything Else.
But
They
I
also
had
heard
another
I know
song.
I heard him. Yeah.
But pretty sure they had another song on the My Life album, didn't they? Together? I could have sworn they did.
Yeah, there's another song, No One Else.
I believe that's right.
No One Else, yeah.
So You Gotta Believe is the 8th track on Mary's My Life album. Again, the bestest album ever. And this was her second album, released November 29th, 1994 by Uptown Records and MCA Records. The song is about a woman persuading her man to trust the woman's loyalty, whatever. Basically telling her man to have faith in her loyalty.
Well, I'll say this. Artists, hopefully every artist is blessed with what I call a thriller, a thriller album. You know, this is Mary J. Blige's Thriller, I think.
Yes.
You know,
What's sad though is she had to go through a lot of heartache to put out such a thriller, as you said. It came out in her music, and it became a masterpiece. My Life was a masterpiece.
Yeah, I love it.
I hear what you guys are saying, but I before you make the statement, Kim, about this was the best album that she's done, let me remind you of what song. What's the 411? Of course, You Remind Me was the first single. Real Love, Reminisce, Sweet Thing, Love No Limit.
That's her introduction. No, I wasn't on the Mary train really heavily then.
Me neither. I couldn't stand her in What's the 411.
Her attitude at the time was kind of like abrasive to me. So I was like, well, I like the music, but you have to like the artist. To me, she hadn't reached that likable status because I really wasn't seeing her, but I saw her through my life.
Let me tell you something. Now, let me say, what's the 411? I just really didn't vibe with her. Just like Byron said, I was in a beauty salon when My Life came out, and my beautician at the time was playing the whole album on her radio. And I had to stop and was like, who is that? And they were like, Mary J. Blige. I'm like, that's Mary? Okay, I'm gonna have to change my mind about her because it was a completely different vibe. She softened in My Life. And it may have been part of the heartache that kind of softened her and just made her put out such soulfulness. But there was a difference between 411 and My Life.
And I just got the message. I love lyrics. I try to listen, sit still and listen to what people are saying in their songs. And she was just so convincing with everything that she said on that album, every song, the emotion.
It was coming from her heart.
Yeah. And I got her. I mean, it was.
Yeah. My Life is one of my favorite songs. It's in my playlist from her. And that comes from her album. It's just, you just tell that she was going through a lot during that time when she made that album, and it spilled through her music. But for me, it was just something about what's the 411. I'm trying to understand what y'all mean. Yep, like the attitude or the personality of Mary. What was it about her that y'all didn't like?
It seems like she didn't seem like a happy person, for one, and she just had this abrasiveness. And people want to say that's New York. That was when New York is like a second home for me, but I don't know. It wasn't. She didn't have a likable quality for me, for me to vibe with. Sure, I enjoyed her music, or appreciated her music. I wouldn't say I was enjoying because I wasn't really vibing that much with it. But I think as time went on, as the promotions went on with 411, she came out with the remix album for What's a 411, which I began to take notice.
Kind of vibe with.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling this, and I got the feeling of her being a long-term artist. I was just kind of curious to see where she would go. And when My Life came out, I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting. Happy was Be Happy. That was the first single I think that was released. I was like, oh, okay, this is a nice little change. And then when her stuff started getting remixed into the house format, I really started taking notice, because when artists go that route, it tells me that the labels and they have a vision for them, and they're trying to push them into multiple markets that will make it more appealing. So I appreciated her even more for doing that, because she was getting quality remix treatment from the names that were doing stuff in house music at the time. So yeah, it was just a whole full circle movement for me when it came to Mary J. Blige with her development.
Exactly. It was just development. 411 was her freshman right out the gate, and we were like, yeah, okay, whatever, But you could see her growth in My Life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is an album sleeper. This and this is a sleeper track. So Kim, you pull them out. You pull out these sleeper tracks. album tracks that you vibe to. Y'all love
it. All hail Kim. So what's next, baby?
Okay. Next up, someone that should really get her flowers, because there was a time that almost every song that was playing had some involvement with her. Sherelle, Everything I Miss at Home.
To love someone, but I can't pretend to be everyone. And we take it for granted I was lonely. Till you were there for me. You give me attention. You're someone who understands my needs. All I want to say is
at home.
We all singing it. Ooh, That used to be a vibe, man.
Yeah, this was a
Wow.
sophisticated
Still
soul. It's taken from Sherelle's third studio album, Affair. Everything I Miss at Home is her most successful
Really?
single of her career, peaking at #1 on the Black Singles Chart for 1 week. But believe it or not, it didn't even crack the Hot 100. It did
Now,
not even
quick-
crack the.
Quick question. So
Yeah.
that was more successful than Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh yeah,
I don't-
yeah, but I don't think that was that on her album or was that Alexander O'Neal's album?
That was hers, I thought.
That was. Let's see. Let's research.
Saturday Love.
Yeah.
Saturday Love.
I thought that was hers.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
But in the meantime,
Mhm.
I posted something recently about a song between Sherelle and Alexander O'Neal, another one. They were perfect duo.
Mhm.
And what was the song, Marcus?
Saturday Love.
Was it Saturday Love? Was it Saturday Love?
When they sang the exact same verse. Yeah. Saturday Love.
So you know what? Saturday Love did perform better on the charts. I think because it was a duet with
Okay.
Alexander O'Neal, but this is her solo. You hear Alexander O'Neal's vamps on this song, but it's not a duet. So for her to be so completely solo on a track, that was her best single. Believe it or not. And I'm like, but she's had upbeat tunes that were popular as well. So I don't know. I have to fact check that one. That was via Wikipedia. You know how that could be, but
Exactly.
But yeah, I love this song because to me it falls under the category. First of all, I always say that sophisticated soul. It's a summation of what Quiet Storm is. It's what I think when I think of this song. I think of what was it, Midnight Love on
Midnight
BET.
Love on why don't they do that anymore? It's a lot.
I miss that type
Byron.
of programming. Yes.
Did you say WBLS?
Yes, WBLS 107.
That's a BET.
BET. Okay.
Midnight Love on BET.
Midnight Love. Okay, BET.
But I love
Yeah, I thought you said-
WBLS too.
But
we're not-
WBLS had a wonderful after hours where they always played "There I Go, There I Go, There I Go, There I Go."
So,
Right?
oh yeah,
Yes.
Quiet Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it's
Shout
WHUR
out.
here in DC.
Yeah.
HUR.
Big shout out to the great Frankie Crocker, who was the
Mhm.
host of the Quiet Storm. The reason why I thought you said WBLS was because I can hear this song being played
Mhm.
on WBLS. I mean, that's when I heard it. I've heard this song before, but that's just what it took me to WBLS and how I wished I lived in the Northeast during those times.
Marcus just loved us. He just wanted to be with us.
I really did. Yeah.
And the video
Sorry,
treatment
but
for this
that-
song was great too. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting your flow, Marcus. We can.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the video of the song was just so dreamy to me. I loved the new look of Sherelle in the video and just how things were just flowing together. It was just a perfect combination for the song.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering what Sherelle is doing these days.
I think she's touring.
You see, Alex. I don't know. I'm gonna find out.
She pops up. I know she's popped up on these different award shows, making appearances, Black Girls Rock and stuff like that. Cassidy had her on Pass the Mic. They did the,
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
ever seen the Pass the Mic on
Yeah.
YouTube? I love that. So both
Yeah.
she and Alexander O'Neal have popped up on those a couple of times.
Okay. Yeah. Great song indeed by Sherelle. Now, where we going next? Kim?
We're gonna play our girl Faith Evans. I Love You.
Oh yeah.
Every day I try to make some sense of this. What you mean to me? I know it could be serious. Each and every night I dream about just holding you. Loving you like this. What is a girl supposed to do? I love you. I want you. I want you. You're the one that I live for, and I can't take it anymore. I love you. I love you. I
Faith Evans has a pretty large catalog of music, but that particular song, I Love You, is my absolute favorite. It comes from her third album, Faithfully, released in 2001. This particular song was released in 2002. It was written by 4 different people, including the likes of Bobby Springsteen. Not sure if he's in relation to Bruce Springsteen, and J-Lo, believe it or not.
Yeah,
J-Lo.
I was shocked. Yeah, I was shocked to learn that J-Lo wrote the song.
Yeah. Sampled by Make a Little Love by the great Isaac Hayes. Peaked at number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts and number 2 on the R&B and hip hop charts. Stayed number 1 on the 106 and Park countdown as well. And but which a lot of people don't know that Faith was actually singing that song to me. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, haters gonna hate. It is what it is. I mean, she was singing that song to me. I mean, and the visuals on that video, with her in the water, and it's like the winter time and the snow and the log cabin and the fire.
Her new body.
And yeah. You know, I mean, it was just a great culmination of some hard work, and she really did a thing on this one.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, this is one of mine too. I wouldn't say it's like at the top of my list of my favorites by her, but it was a nice little vibe to get you through the day. I'll just say we heard the song so many times during the day when it was out. But I truly enjoyed the song. It's one of my favorites, but not my.
Hey, Byron,
Yes.
I don't smell a hint of hateration.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
With Faith Evans. No. So Faith Evans to me is one of those artists that definitely deserves to receive her flowers every day, because she's worked with a plethora of different artists, and she hasn't really received the recognition that some of those more less talented artists have received. So it's
she's extremely talented. She's extremely talented.
Yeah. So I
really
always hands down to Faith. You know, love Faith Evans.
Oh yeah. I would like to see more music come from her at some point. You know, I think it's about time for another Faith Evans album. You know, we see all the negative stuff that they print up on the blog stuff betwing her and Stevie J and stuff like that. But
I don't know why she did that.
It really.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to say that, but I was thinking the same thing. Like of all the cats, you know what I'm saying, you could have involved yourself with this guy right here, you know. But anyway.
Do you all think it was for clout?
I think for what?
I don't think so much clout, but it was an arrangement. I feel that.
And someone was upset that the arrangement time frame was over and they wanted to
possibly
create a narrative, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Possibly.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have gotten into that neither. But hey, the music business is not like it used to be.
Yeah, I don't need to know. I'm one of those type of people. I don't want to know your business.
Not all of it, really.
You're the artist. Do you be like Janet? You know, when she's out promoting and doing her stuff, it's all about her. But when she's done with that, she goes back and, you know, does her own thing. You don't see
Janet
her.
was married and we didn't even know about it.
You live your life. I don't want to know what time you farted this morning and how it smelled. And
exactly.
You know, I'm like, come on now.
That messes with the music. That messes with the music.
Yeah, it does.
With my mind and your music.
And the artistry altogether.
I'd rather there be a mystery about you. Mm-hmm. And I just love your music.
Bring the mystery back.
Where's the mystery? Yes.
Make me want to know about you.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what else is a mystery?
The next song. I know where you're going. You're going to the next song. Mr. Sandman, Move It On. Marcus's title is Sandman, Move It Along.
That's so
funny. We're here, Marcus. We're here. I see you. Okay,
you see me. You see me. Okay. Needless for me to ask, Kim, come on with it.
Next up is one of my favorites, India Arie, Brown Skin.
Oh, beautiful.
Every time I let you in, abracadabra magic happens as we swim. Higher and higher, finally we reach heaven. Come back to earth, and then we do it all again. Yeah, brown skin. skin up against my brown skin. Need some every now and then. Oh, yeah. Skin so brown, lips so round, baby, how can I be down?
NDRE, one who does not get the clout or the recognition that she deserves. Brown Skin is the second single released by NDRE, one of the best songwriters and singers there is, from her debut album Acoustic Soul in 2001. She has many different bangers since then. So what do y'all think?
That was a solid album, but what comes to mind about Acoustic Soul is that she was nominated for 7 Grammys and did not win one. I think she lost to Alicia Keys. And I thought that was, I was a little suspect on all of that. I was like, I think it was colorism involved because I'm going to say what it is. You know, I love Alicia Keys, but I think.
Exactly. It's a thing with talent. If your talent is combined by a certain aesthetic, as far as your features, then especially with Grammys, they'll more pull towards you.
Yeah. I think it was one of those. I think it was one of those things where India.Arie was ready for the world, but the world was
not ready for
India.Arie because of her realness and her talent level that matches her realness. You know, and she wasn't gonna conform to anybody
or shrink herself into something else,
right?
Or to appease what they wanted. She wasn't going to assimilate. She wasn't going to try to be anything that she wasn't.
But you know what? I think it was a good lesson for her because she actually fell into that whole hype along, surrounding the whole Grammy nomination type of thing and started to doubt herself briefly. But I'm so glad she didn't, because she immediately followed up with the second album, which continued that journey and showed even more growth. And she got her flowers. She began receiving some of her flowers with the second album that came out.
And she's still doing the thing to this day.
Yes, she is. Got a couple to this day.
She's still doing her thing right now. I think I can't remember the song.
Steady Love.
The acoustic with a nice acoustic.
Cocoa Butter, Steady Love.
Yeah. It's another one that my wife loves to get. I'll think of it in a minute, but it's got the real nice acoustics to it. But
the
Steady
current
Love,
single.
The current single, and
yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
We know what you're talking about, but we just like you can't remember the name of
it. Sing it again, Marcus. Sing it again.
Do I have to? You thought you had me, did you, Byron?
No. Hey. I love India.Arie. I love Alicia Keys. Don't get me wrong. I just think that
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, it's just that it was clear to me from the scope of all of the categories that India.Arie was nominated for that year. She should have at least got something out of that, because
at least one.
When you compare both projects, there was no measure. You know what I'm saying? Alicia was a pianist and musician, and both are musicians. But as far as playing instruments, I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me.
So, guys, let me ask you a question real quick. Now, do you think? No, because I really started to really get to know the real Alicia Keys. I listened to her latest interview on the Breakfast Club maybe about a month or so ago, and she used a lot of cuss words, I guess, to say the least. And I never thought of her as that type of person to use language. I mean, she's a grown person, whatever, but she just came off more as this tough girl from New York. But my question is, do you think that a lot of the accolades that she got early in her career were kind of given to her because of the way she looked, or was it really based on her talent level?
No, she has a talent to back it up.
She does have talent.
I just think that when provided with someone who just is equally as talented, and you look at the aesthetics, I think status quo lent their attention more towards her versus the darker version of her, if that makes sense. Darker equivalent of her, but not at all. I don't think she's been handed anything. She's pushed her talent front and center from the start. The girls got.
I think another way to say it is Alicia Keys deserves a Grammy. She did deserve her Grammy. She's very talented. Love her. She's one of my daughter's favorites. But so does NDRE. And if you put them next to each other in the United States of America, they're going to go by sight, not so much talent. They're more about, can you aesthetically be pleasing to everyone?
Universal.
And exactly. And especially if you're racially ambiguous or close to it,
that part,
they prefer that a little bit better.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Needless to say, nothing can be taken away from NDRE. She's had a solid career.
Yes,
she's really, again, just
she's
like,
from Georgia.
Like all the artists. I don't know. Really?
Isn't she from Georgia, from Savannah, or is she from? Hold on, let's before you.
I don't think so.
I wasn't sure of that. Or
I don't think.
Maybe she does live in Atlanta.
I know.
She did. I think he's right.
She was born in Colorado, Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, but they moved to Atlanta when she was 13 years old.
Okay.
Her father was a basketball.
And she went to college in Savannah College of Art and Design.
Okay, cool. All right, what's next, Kim?
Well, next up, we're going to go to Tamia.
Ooh.
One of my favorite songs by Tamia, Stranger in My House. Her all into that song.
Didn't she? Wow.
Wait, is it on me?
I don't know whose song is that.
I got you, Byron.
Oh, let me get it. Let me put it together. So when you think about this song, what comes to mind is, first of all, the video treatment. Well, anything that Tamia was in, they're more like glamour videos. So she's always beautiful in anything she presents. But this song here, she's like in a spa area. Like, I guess it's like one of those Asian style spas, and she's got her water look going.
I could actually see this one. I remember it very vividly.
Yeah. But this song was a solid performer for her. It reached #1 in the U.S. adult R&B charts, #1 on the dance club songs chart with the house mixes from X Hector, #10 in the top 100 Billboard chart, and #3 on the U.S. R&B hip hop songs chart. Solid performer and a great return for her. This was from her second album, if I'm not mistaken, that she released. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it from her second album?
I wasn't sure.
New Day.
I thought she had another.
A New Day. That's her second studio album. A New Day. Even though she seemed to go long between projects, it took her a while from when she did the Quincy Jones track before her first album release, and I think that there was a long period of time for that album, and then the second album was a little bit closer in proximity to release compared to.
Is it the same album with the song Imagination? With it?
I think Imagination came later.
Later?
Yeah, that wasn't on this one.
Okay.
That's it. I think the only singles that came from this album was Can't Go For That, and that really didn't get any. I mean, I remember it being released, but it really didn't do anything. Stranger in My House, that was the biggest. Love Me in a Special Way, that was another one.
Okay. All right.
But this was
now that Love Me song that Love Me, is that one of the cover for the Bard song?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking I heard it.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember that one as well. But yeah, Tamia, I mean, she had some success. I think when she got married to Grant Hill, I guess that kind of, this is just me talking, maybe kind of settled her down to the point where she was more like of she didn't put out as much music to me. Once she got married and started having kids,
I think
stuff
you're
like
right.
It's a combination of things because she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. When the third album came out, that's when that came out, and she was dealing with that. So that's why we weren't seeing her as often, because she was getting she had chronic fatigue as a result of that, but it's in remission now. So you notice that she's back out in the forefront a little bit. She released that album a couple of years ago that did pretty well, and but thankfully it's in remission. But yeah, that's what she's been battling. That's why we weren't seeing her as frequently as we thought we would have, and there was so much time.
Okay,
but she's had some more recent hits recently in the past couple of years though.
Yes, that last album that she put out, solid.
Mm-hmm.
What was that main track? Passion Like Fire, Keep It
Yeah,
Burning.
Fire, Keep It Burning. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was actually good.
Yeah. That was actually really good. Yeah.
Leave It Smoking is the name of it. Leave It Smoking.
Leave It Smoking.
Yeah.
Leave It Smoking.
Yeah.
But she says, Passion Like Fire, fire. Leave it smoking.
Leave it smoking. Yeah. And
I love her.
And of course, Bob's going to do the house version of it.
I know, right?
There is one. Yes, there is. Terry Hunter did his thing on that remix. Big shouts to Terry Hunter for really stamping that record. And that's a solid release for her and a nice comeback for Tamia. That song has some strong longevity on the charts. Well, R&B charts, but definitely on the dance charts.
Okay. All right. So where we going now, Cam?
We're gonna take it all the way back to one of our to one of R&B's leading ladies, Gladys Knight.
Yes.
That's one of the lines in the song too, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Maybe beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember. We simply choose to forget. So with the laughter, we will remember. Whenever we remember the way we were.
I have to say, I like her version better.
Yes. And this was a live version too, I think, isn't it?
What other version is there?
The original, you've never heard the original version?
Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell nobody I said that.
You never.
Hey, don't tell nobody but God, okay? All right.
I missed the.
No, I'm just teasing. Oh man, Gladys Knight. There was no way we were going to do this one. I mean, we had to kind of celebrate the OGs, the female OGs of R&B, and she is definitely one of them. There were so many tracks that I could have picked from her catalog, but I picked this one, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. First of all, it was released in 1974 from the I Feel a Song album. Of course, it was sampled. Those that are hip hop heads, of course, it was sampled by none other than the Wu-Tang Clan from the song "Can It All Be So Simple" 1993. And also, it's one of the first line in Lauryn Hill's song "X Factor," released in 1996.
So simple.
Yes. But the main reason, why hey, there y'all go again. But I picked this song basically because this was playing at the end of DMX's final documentary, Don't Try to Understand Me. He was playing this song when he was spending time with his family, and I guess trying to put the pieces back that they lost. He even reconciled with his son that what's the lady's name? Fix My Life, Iyanla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that. He was
actually
on
reconciled
there
with his son.
I forgot he was on there.
Yeah. Yes. But anyway, she tried that song was playing at the end, and it was just a very emotional song, and it just did a lot. It's just a beautiful song. I mean, and y'all heard it yourself. I mean, it's very refreshing, very passionate, and I just love it. What do y'all think?
When this is over, I'm going to send you the Barbara Streisand version, and I want you to compare.
I don't need you to send me the Barbara Streisand version. I got you.
No, you
need to. I'm gonna send it.
Yeah.
You need to hear it. But like I said, I like this one better.
This one elevates it.
It does. It does. Because it really does.
A crescendo. That's the word I'm looking for. It was a crescendo.
There was a lot of just Gladys Knight in it, and it was just very. Like I said, this is much better. Not much better. Barbara Streisand did her thing. Believe me, because Barbara.
But this one was more impassioned. I think
it had more passion and more.
It was more impassioned.
Yeah. More heart, more soul in it. That's what it is. That's it. That's it.
Feeling in your chest. Just from her singing. I picture her like on this street corner, like walking down a street, windy, or I don't know, just cold, and she's just reminiscing and crying out. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Okay.
All right. What's next, Kim?
One of my favorites, another who doesn't get her flowers because she can sing with the best of them, Miss Mickey Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Imagination is silly. You go around willy-nilly. As for example, I go around watching you, and yet I can't imagine that you
Now, doesn't she kind of remind you of Whitney back in the day?
I wouldn't put her.
I'm talking about her voice, the voice, not her, but the voice.
Well, I take it back. More like what's her name? Oh God, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Stephanie Mills.
Okay, a little bit. I see that. I see that. Yeah. Imagination was originally recorded by Glenn Miller and Tommy Dorsey orchestras in 1940, but Mickey Howard's version peaked at number 13 on Billboard's R&B chart in 1987, staying on the charts for 16 weeks.
What's your favorite Mickey Howard song?
Ain't Nobody Like You.
Oh, really? Mine is Love Under New Management.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I love that.
I was about to say. Yeah. Turn me completely on.
But wait a minute. Wait. But whose Love Under New Management do you like better, hers or Stephanie Mills? They both did that song.
But Mickey did it first. Mickey's. When did Stephanie do it?
Stephanie definitely did it. She had.
I like Mickey's better.
Was it Stephanie or was it Angela Winbush? I have to think about that.
One of them did it. One of them did it.
But this one, Imagination, is actually my favorite with Mickey Howard, and next is Ain't Nobody Like You. But Mickey Howard, there was a time where her and Debbie Morgan, remember Debbie Morgan?
Oh, yeah.
You heard them all the time, and they were just some of the best singers. We should have included Debbie Morgan on here, too.
Yeah, why did we?
We didn't think about it. We got to do a 90s R&B episode one day.
This is the debut release from Mickey Howard, but the second single, because Come Share My Love, that was the first one. Now that's
Come Share My Love.
That's my second favorite. Yeah. I really loved that song by her. Mickey Howard. She's she was rumored to initially be the Billie Jean in the song, I think.
I don't see that. I really don't.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I don't either. I don't see that.
I don't see that.
Yeah. So just since you brought it up, Byron, who was Dirty Diana?
Nah.
Princess Diana. I don't know. I don't know.
Or was it Diana Ross?
Oh.
Ooh.
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 Well, Tabor got to come back to it.
Stop.
There it is.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey.
All right.
But check it out. What's the next kill?
All right. Another that should get more airplay, and it's Leela James, who could sing her butt off. And Don't Want You Back.
You had a good thing, yeah. And you let it go.
You let it go.
And now you wanna try to come back. No, 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 no. I will never take you back. No, 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 no. It's funny how you try to come back. No. It's too late. I moved on and I don't want you back. I don't want your love.
Yes.
You know, no disrespect to what's my girl's name? Layla Hathaway. No disrespect to her. But right now, Leela James is probably the baddest thing in her R&B right now, as far as females concerned.
Okay, I
was confused. I was confused.
I was about to be upset about what you were about to say, because I'll be talking about Layla.
Y'all already dive on me, were you?
I was about to fight you.
I was standing by to see where you were going with that one. I was like,
don't be talking about my Layla.
No, I would never do that. You know, her name's got royalty written all over it. But however, I think Leela James is just something about that raspy voice of hers that just
okay, I see what you're saying, because Layla can go really deep with her voice also. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But Leela has always had that, it's immediately a Leela James record. But she's got that sound,
that signature voice. And this particular track comes from a Did It For Love, from her album Did It For Love. Ladies and gentlemen, this one actually peaked at number 1 in the adult R&B charts. Leela, like I said, is that raspy voice. You know, it's a signature sound. And even though she's doing really great things in the R&B industry, I really feel like she doesn't get her recognition.
I don't think she does.
I mean, you know, a lot of people are checking for your Ari Lennox or your SZA.
Great artists, by the way.
They are.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
Summer Walker.
Summer Walker, exactly. You know, Snow Allegra, all those girls, they're really doing their thing. But Leela, to me, just surpasses all of them. I mean,
she's an OG compared to them too. She's
exactly.
She is a little bit older. Now, Marcus, is this your favorite Leela James song?
No, my favorite is right now is probably Complicated or I'm Falling. I'm Falling. You ever heard? Yeah. I like those as well. But I could sit. Leela is one of those artists, be honest with you. If you think about, you know, the quality of music people put out, you know, rarely do you have artists that can put out albums nowadays where you can listen to the whole album and like vibe to it. All of her albums that she has out, you can just listen to all of them and just kind of vibe to them. You know, I can remember I was going out of town one day, I drove by myself and I just listened to all of her music, and every one of them was just kind of like, was just a vibe to me. And, you know, it's just something about that raspy voice, that voice, man. I just tell you, it just does it for me. And so, you know,
I'm just happy that
Leela James, man.
Yeah, I'm just happy that she finally got into position to be heard, because when her first album came out, I don't think they really knew what to do with her. She had some solid releases, Music and My Joy, but I don't think the label knew how to handle her, and so she was kind of like on the shelf. It seemed like you weren't really hearing much from her, and I'm glad that she finally got in that stroll to be able to release all this great music that we've heard over the past several years. Because she did a cover album. I think that was like her second album or something that came like, it seemed like years after the first one. Like she just came out of nowhere and she's on this independent label or something like that, and she's covering songs. I'm like, what's going on with Leela James? I mean, it fit her sound, but it wasn't really her. You know what I mean?
I understand.
But yeah.
But sometimes that actually works, because at the time I didn't realize, like Luther Vandross, a lot of those songs were cover songs. Those were other people's songs. But he made them his own. to the point where you forget that song even existed before.
True, but Luther, yeah, like he Lutherized it.
He Lutherized it. He Lutherized it.
But yeah, on that, I think that second album, it was called "Let's Do It Again" by Leela James, and she did "Clean Up Woman." It's a man's world. You know, she was singing stuff like that. I Try. Now her cover of Angela Bofield's "I Try" was great. You need to check that out.
It was better than what is his
Angela
name?
Bofield? Oh, Phil Perry.
Will Downing.
Will Downing. You know what?
I love Will Downing's version.
Well, yeah, from a male's perspective, that's the best version.
I think so.
Yep.
But I honestly haven't heard Leela Jane's version, so I'm definitely going to listen to it.
Yeah, she's got a nice catalog of music, and she seems to be getting better. And she stays in her vein and lane as far as solid R&B.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's next, Kim?
One of my favorites, another one that should be everywhere, getting all the Grammys, is my girl Jasmine Sullivan, Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
Yeah.
Gotta love her.
Honey. Lions, Tigers, and Bears is the fourth single released from American R&B soul singer Jasmine Sullivan's debut album, Fearless. The song impacted radio on November 11, 2008, and was officially released on December 16, 2008 as the third single. The track received a Grammy nomination for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance and nomination for Best R&B Song. 2008. You know what was going on with me in 2008.
What was going on, Kim?
My daughter's 13. Do the math. My daughter's 13. Do the math.
Okay. All right. Oh my.
Ooh, life. You were living. All right. So Jasmine Sullivan came out from nowhere with this release, and she was like, I am not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. Releasing a line of singles, this one included. I mean, she had Need You Bad, she had Bust Your Windows, which is still like a popular song at karaoke people sing all the time. Lions.
You know what? I'm sorry. I want to correct something. Like we said, Wikipedia gets it wrong. Bust the Windows Out Your Car was from her first album. This was from her second album.
No, this is from the first one. This is from the first one.
Are you sure? Lions, Tigers, and Bears is on the first?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. First album. It was like the third. Is it the third single? Let me look it up.
Yeah, thanks to.
Yeah, it was the third.
Is that
okay?
Yep. Third single to be released. One thing about Jasmine, she's like a Gladys Knight. Like you can hear the emotion in her voice, and it's the raw, like clear projection that you hear her soul in her voice, her emotion and soul and passion in her voice. And that's why I love her, because all of her songs, whether it's up tempo or ballad, it has that uniqueness, that sincerity.
And no matter what, whether she's a little bit bigger or have lost the weight, you can still hear it. Because now with Pick Up Your Feelings, you can still hear this soulful. You better pick them up.
It's not like Luther Vandross back in the day. You know, when Luther was on the bigger side, he sounded better as opposed to when he lost all that weight.
You think so?
He sounded the same to me, but
he sounded the same to me.
Not a big difference, but to me it was a little bit of difference, to me, but I'm talking about Luther now. I'm talking about Luther.
Luther.
To me,
Luther.
Luther. I'm trying to me, he's still But you know what? I think it was more the type of songs that he sang kind of changed.
Because he was happier. That was
I think so. That may have
that.
been it.
Yeah.
That may have been it.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, jazz, we talked about Leela previously, and Jasmine, they're pretty much in the same category, as far as bangers, as far as like heavy hitters in the R&B game right now. And I would go as far as a step to say is maybe Jasmine, maybe a half a step ahead of Leela, just a half a step, and
I know I'm sorry.
I agree. I think she's a whole step ahead of. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know she felt the pressure before, like with the industry, and that wanted to push back a little bit. I'm so happy she did not push out and leave the industry because she was just frustrated with the promotion. That was
because she should be out there way more. She should be receiving many Grammys. But it just goes back to what we were talking about, the talent. If you don't have a certain look, they don't really give you your flowers like you're supposed to. And that's the only reason why she wouldn't, because she's doing the work and she sounds phenomenal in every song.
Right.
Marcus, I feel like I interrupted your thought. I'm so sorry for stepping over you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I was just talking about, we keep hitting on this particular subject, Blackism. And how come some of the certain talents never really got the exposure that some of the other talents might have gotten. And as y'all were talking, I was thinking about Tari Torre and how her body of music,
it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
It's very phenomenal. And we kept asking ourselves, how come we're not hearing this? How come we're not?
Exactly.
And this idea, this concept never came to my mind.
Until having this conversation now,
because it's having this conversation. Yeah, I hope that's not the issue, because the talent speaks for itself, but it just goes to show how simple-minded, at some points that the music industry can be.
But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Well, I was finally watching Genius last night for a kind.
Yeah.
Genius, is that right? Whatever. Mm-hmm. And we saw Tari on there, and she's been out for a long time. She was even on his first album, her and her husband. And so she's been in the game for a long time, but did we ever hear her stuff on the radio? And why not? Because she is, like we said, phenomenal.
But you know what? This is a new... Right. And she could also be going from a standpoint of being independent too. So I would love to hear more about what label she's signed to or how she's going about it, because I think the one person that handled the independent aspect perfectly, and I'll explain why, Jody Watley, when she released the Makeover album, she released it under her label.
Record label.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But she inked a distribution deal with Virgin at the time, and the marketing placed all of her music, or that's this particular album, that project, at all of the Virgin stores. And at the time, you remember those Virgin record stores that were like in the major cities that were huge, and that was genius. And I think I've mentioned this before. I think a lot of artists are gonna have to get back or kind of adopt an out of the box approach. If you're gonna be independent, how are you gonna get distributed? So you can be independent, owning your masters and all of that, but the key is being distributed. So I think they may need to partner up with some of these major labels just for distribution aspect. They don't have to be signed to the label where the label cheats them out of what's due to them. But when it comes to distribution, maybe that should be the new
distribution. I'm gonna ask you a question about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it safe to say when you think in the music terms, we talk about distribution, are you talking about like in the form of like CDs, or it's like streaming? Is music streaming? Is it distributed as well?
It's funny you should say that. No, so it's different now in comparison to when Jody Watley came out with her makeover album, because that this actual product for distribution. So it's hard. I'm so confused when it comes to this whole streaming thing, because it's changed. Because they only get think of stuff Spotify. Yeah, Spotify. That's why so many artists are boycotting Spotify, like India.Arie. She just recently pulled, because she's looking at it from the standpoint of people who have these podcasts on Spotify, been offered millions and millions of dollars just to talk on these podcasts, but yet the basis of Spotify has always been the music, and these artists are only getting like 100 from a penny for every spin. There's some weird fraction, some like crazy a number. So it takes like millions and billions of streams for them to even see like $1,000 or some craziness. I don't know how it's broken down. Wow. So it's a little confusing because I think either we take it from the standpoint labels handle promotion, which would encompass distribution, and the artists focus on supplying the funding for their projects. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm curious. I would love to talk to Tare about
bring her back. Anyway.
Yeah, bring her back and just get an insight, because I'm thinking she's more independent. Project. I don't think she's on a major label, which is a factor a lot of times, unless you have another engine that's going to push you out into the forefront. And that's what I mean when it comes to distribution. I guess it's in a different form now that social media and all of that, the streaming thing is in play. There has to be something that needs to be issued. I think I don't know. What do you all think?
You know, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it's a whole beast. And I when you were talking, I was thinking about how Snoop acquired Death Row, and he was going to put it. He said he was going to put all the music out as far as like an NFT, which I still don't understand. I looked it up and everything, and I still don't understand it. But
that's a crypto,
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, sort of kind of, but like anyway, I mean, the way the world is going now, they're getting away from things that you can physically touch. I mean, if I can break it down in real simple, they're getting away. We're entering into a whole nother universe. I think I've heard the term metaverse. But basically, everything is pretty much online, or you can stream, or whatnot, whatever the case may be. It just opens up a whole nother world of how we do things for the most part. And so go ahead.
I was gonna say, case in point that you're making, Kanye West's Donda 2, that little player. Yeah. Have you guys seen that? Which is groundbreaking in itself. It's groundbreaking in itself because this thing, you pay $200. Basically, they're paying for that device, not necessarily for the album, but the album is featured, is like the first thing that's on it. But it not only plays, it isolates, you're able to remix the songs and do all kinds of stuff with this little circle device about this big.
Yeah.
So that's so meta thing. But this is me. When it comes to my music, even though we're into this digital realm, I need to, like, my favorite artists, I seek to find a physical copy of a CD, because I mean, CDs are going to still be produced and maybe in smaller quantities, but I like to have the actual physical CD because I know I'm going to meet them one day and I want them to sign it. That's the only reason.
Yeah. I get it. Right. I get it. Yeah. I can't keep CDs. They're always so scratched by the song. I play them so much. Yeah. So I'll stick with my MP3s.
They go in a little book now. You have like a little flip book, like it's like a picture, your picture album now. You just look at this CD, and you have a conversation about each CD that you're flipping it. Anyway, I digress. All right, what's next, Kim?
Vesta Williams, one of my favorites. Sweet love.
Miss her. When I hear the song, I think of Donnie Simpson, Video Soul, because this was a staple around that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this may be one of her most successful singles. I know both.
Congratulations.
Sweet Love, Congratulations, probably. I think it outperformed this lead single, Sweet Sweet Love, which was taken from her second studio album, Vesta For You, released in 1988 on A&M Records. Solid release. This was for many an introduction to who Vesta was at the time, and she continued from that point to go through so many different changes. And it's unfortunate that she's no longer here with us, but she's in my top 10. She's on my top 10 list.
Yeah, she passed away in 2011. I was totally shocked because she was one of my favorites. She always was very reminiscent of Shaka Khan, but me personally felt that she sang better than Shaka Khan to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love me some Vesta Williams.
That was one of the things she was known for her high octave voice and being able to hit those high notes. As a matter of fact, you mentioned Shaka Khan. I think she sang backup for Shaka Khan.
Yes, she did.
At one point. Also, I think the group Wild Honey. I think I saw.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Fifth Dimension. They started Wild Honey. I think she was a member of that before she started singing background for some of these other singers. But her talent is not. It can't be matched. You know, I mean, she was a great artist of her time, and like I said, it's unfortunate that she's not here with us. It really is.
Sophisticated soul.
Sophisticated soul. Yes, she is.
And she died so young. She was only 53.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
It was really sudden.
And she had lost all that weight. You know, she was.
Yes.
She was always a beautiful woman.
She was always beautiful. Even when she was bigger, she was very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I first saw the new Vesta, I think what was it? What commercial?
McDonald's.
It was a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And she was scatting.
Don't figure, right?
Listen, she was scatting with, I think it was Al Jarreau. Who was it? I can't remember. Some jazz.
It might have been Al Jarreau.
And I was, oh wow, Vesta looks great.
Yeah. So hey guys, I think that's it as far as our top 5. But do we got some more?
Yes, yes, we do.
We got some bonus. We got some bonus tracks.
Where you trying? Where you got to be?
I know.
We got some
we almost done. We almost done. We not leaving.
Sit right there.
All play.
Right there. Don't move from that seat.
The next one is Rochelle Farrell. You are not moving until she is played.
I'm right here, Kim. Let's go.
All right.
Change my mind. You see, it doesn't matter what you do. I'll be right here waiting for you with open arms. I see you holding my heart.
Stank face.
Girl,
face.
She is known for when she sings, she will distort her face so bad, but it comes out perfectly.
I was talking about me. One thing about Rochelle Farrell, she uses every ounce of that microphone, that mouth contorts.
Her face, her body.
She hits notes that only dogs can hear. She's known. She has that range that she can achieve that.
And this album, her first album from beginning to end was
the second.
It was from.
It's her second album. Self-titled second album.
Really?
Something Else was her first one, and then in 92 she released this second. Okay. Oh, it was the first one released here in the States. Okay. I get it.
Got it.
So the first one was only in Japan, and they later released it. Right.
Okay.
So, let me back up and explain that. so just to explain, the first album was called Something Else, which was released in 1990, only in Japan. Then she released Rochelle Farrell, which her self-titled second album, but it was her debut here in the States.
Okay.
third album was called First Instrument, which was the re-release of something else.
Well, that was another very good album.
Yeah. So we clarified that. Mm-hmm. Marcus, you heard this song before?
Yeah, I've heard that song not very many times, but I have heard it before, and Rochelle Farrell, she has that. That's what I remember about her and that face that, just you remember the movie I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Yeah.
With Kim Wayans is singing on the stage. That's kind of
You know what? Now I'm gonna forever associate her with that visual. But this album though, I mean, it had
from beginning to end.
Oh gosh, Will Downing is on it.
The famous "Nothing Will Ever Feel Like This" was on this album. Oh my god! And
Till You Come Back to Me.
How can we have peace in the Middle East if it's not at home, honey? I know that whole album.
Yeah. Now she got her start. Who was the jazz artist? George Duke, right?
George Duke.
He was singing
yes, she sang No Rhyme, No Reason. No Rhyme or Reason. That is another phenomenal song with her. I
tried to imitate what she did, but just now. That part of that song, did you hear her voice?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We won't go there. We won't.
I'm sorry. You gotta have the laugh attack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to Emile LaRue, For Real, one that we could not go on without playing.
I can trip, and if I can fall into your arms, I can stay there my whole life. I can live, I can love, I can be there with you, for real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. Ooh. I can live, I can love, I can be there with you, for real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. I can stare, I can memorize your face, your hands, your hands.
She's another one that we need to hear more of because I've always loved her voice and her vibe. For Real was from Emile LaRue, much delayed sophomore solo album Brave Bird. The song is notable for being the first time she showed off her almost whistle register upper vocal range on a recording. And is very reminiscent of Minnie Riperton at times. Okay.
Marcus, have you heard that song?
Maybe once or twice. I didn't hear it as often enough to be able to appreciate, the song that it is. You have to
I'm gonna be honest. I
it,
think this is one of those songs that you might not hear. You'd have to hear it on like a special like neo soul type of episode or something.
Yeah.
So
didn't BT
BET used to play it. I used to see it on BET at the time. But one notable thing about this, and since we were on this topic earlier, she was on, I think, Sony Records before, and for her first album. And so the second album and all other albums she's released since then has been on her own label, her independent label, Bliss Life. So she's gone time. There's time between projects, but I think she's like one of the first examples of when it comes to neo soul artists taking control of their music early on. She didn't wait until she was well established. I mean, she had that one solo album that got some promotion, did okay, but everything else has been on her own,
on her terms.
Yeah, so that factors probably into why we don't see her as often, because who's going to be pushing that promotion? She has to, and you got to get the funds and the backing, the investors, if you want to. Well, depending on how you do it, I guess there's many different ways of skinning that cat, but it's another example.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I don't want to. Hope I'm not going too fast. Now, do we got something else, Kim?
The last one, Marcus.
Okay, there we go.
Where you going? Where you gotta be?
Is she happy?
No,
where are you going?
No, nowhere.
Looking like Uncle James.
I know. We say that every episode.
Especially with the glasses, looking just like Uncle James.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Guapole Closer, and listen very closely, Marcus.
Okay.
Thank you. But yes, Marcus, you remember the song now?
And the only reason why it's not in my playlist is because I couldn't remember the name of the person. I couldn't pronounce it either. You know.
But that's Guapole.
Guapole, got it now.
Guapole. So she doesn't get her flowers like she should. And this is the first song from the album of the same name, Closer. And it's the debut studio album of Guapole. It was self-released in a strictly limited run and only available at select brick and mortar outlets. So that's why a lot of people may not know it, but it was so good that very select people who know good music knows the song.
And they also included it on her second album as well as a result of that. But yeah, dreamy record. When I hear this, I think of Quiet Storm, Late Night Drive Through the Street, destroying.
Yes. And I had it last because we're getting closer to our dream, y'all. Closer to our dream.
Ooh, we are.
I like the sound
we definitely are. And that's going to do it, right, Kim? Are you sure?
That's going to do it. That's going to do it.
All right. Another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Another great episode. Again, that was our favorite R&B artist, part 2. Right here on the Good Experience podcast. Now, before we get out of here, guys, I want to take an opportunity. You guys do some other stuff other than this. And Kim, you actually have your own travel business, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And Byron does some other stuff in the. All right. So I just wanted you to take time to plug in that. Byron, you got your thing, the Byron Bino Sound Lounge up in where you do your thing at, man. So you guys just take a couple of minutes just to kind of plug in, what y'all got going on outside the podcast.
Okay. My travel business is Noir Essentials Travel. We take care of all of your travel needs from everywhere from here to Timbuktu. So just feel free to check us out on Facebook on my page, Noir Essentials Travel. And of course, also check out the Good Media Group, which is the umbrella over Good Experience Podcast.
Absolutely. Byron?
So, yes, I am a co-owner of the Rewind Radio Network as well as the Rewind Network. 2 separate entities, but a conjoined. Rewind Radio Network obviously is the radio component, both streaming and terrestrial up in the Lehigh Valley, Poconos region of Pennsylvania. I've been affiliated with that station for about 10, 11 years now, where I do a show called the B-Note Sound Lounge every Wednesday night. You can check this station out at rewindradio.us. The television component, the Rewind Network, is a partnership with Comcast, and we're in several different markets here in the Washington, D.C. area, Pennsylvania, and some parts of, Delaware and New Jersey, some portions of New Jersey. I'm also affiliated with WPFW here in the Washington, D.C. area, where I do a mixed show every Friday night, midnight to 2. It's called Back to Paradise with my brother in the beat, Derek D-Train Coleman. And we bring that bangage every Friday night, midnight to 2. So yeah, that's a lot going on in this a lot.
Anything else, Byron?
Yes, I'm in the show. No, I am in the show. I mean, we're rehearsing for a show right now. Yeah. So I keep it running. As we all do, we have a lot to keep us occupied, and grass is not growing under our feet. How about that?
You got that
right. Absolutely. And I just want to do something a little different, just to, I know you guys do other things outside of this podcast, but I want to make sure, we brought we've had other people sponsored, be sponsors on the podcast before, but I want to make sure that you guys get the exposure that you get, because I know running a business is not something that should be taken lightly. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. So I want to make sure that you guys get recognized, for what you do as well. So go ahead. Yes.
Rewind is REEWIND. It's 2 E's. Rewind.
Okay, gotcha. So make sure you check them out. Hit them both up on the social media platforms, and also hit us up on We've Got the Good Experience podcast. We've got a lot of great information on our Facebook page. We celebrate celebrity birthdays. We put out the new music that's coming out. Not to mention, Silk Sonic has a new the cover of the Confunction single called Love Train. You got it. Yeah, you got to check it out. I love it. I mean, they do an outstanding job. They are doing a great job of preserving the music that that was the soundtrack of our lives, just like we're doing here on the Good. So guys, check that out if you haven't, and check these two guys, Kimmy and Byron, what they have going on with the travel and the music. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode of the Good podcast. Till next time, we'll see you.
Be good, family.
Good.